Hello everyone and welcome to the third part of the gameplay. This time we'll see the development phase, that is the phase in between missions in Sheol. As you recall, in the last mission you unlocked some rewards from the various factions of Sheol and also some development points. These resources are used by the scouts team to acquire new gear, to power up their scouts and other things. So the first thing you have to do is to change the setup of the game. You have to put back in the box all the main board and the other things and just leave out the Citadel board and flip the Shadow board, because on the back side there is the development board. Then, because we are now in the first level of the campaign, you can see the level in the mission manual, you have to take the first level advanced action deck, the first level equipment deck, and the 3 or also 2 if you want, because the shadow printer items are for now locked, the printer decks for the upgrades, and then also the district deck of the first level. The second level and the third level decks, you can leave them in the box, okay, and use them when you will unlock them. Okay, so then you can put your scout boards around the central area where there is also the miniature of the Citadel and the various decks for the unlocks, and each of you has 2 tokens that are the action tokens already used also during the mission, and this corresponds to 2 actions, because each scout has 2 actions represented by these tokens that could take for improving the party and its scout. All the items unlocked are of the team, okay, remains in the team's property and could be exchanged before the mission, so you can decide your gear to start in the next mission. Okay, let's start. First, the Pioneer decides to spend 1 action token to build new districts, so he places it in the relative area and then he can change one of the available districts. This is the 4th mission, so 3 districts are already built during the previous development phase, and he decides to build the Colossal Forge. Remember that each district has an active side or a passive side, so you have to choose which one to build. And then you have to place the miniature, relative miniature, on the Citadel. The Breathless during the gameplay took some status cards in the Light Shield deck, so she decides to cure herself. So she pays 1 action and 1 Luminary Monk's faction point token to cure herself. Okay, next one is the Pioneer again, that decides to repair the Citadel. So the Citadel prosperity points rise from 9 to 10 again. He uses the Engineer's cast faction token to do this action. Okay, there is also the possibility to fortificate the Citadel, but not in this mission. They can do in advanced missions, because the level of the mission is still 1 and is needed the level 2 to increase over 10 the prosperity of the Citadel. Okay, the Pioneer again decides to use another action, and this time decides to get new equipment. To do that, he pays 1 action and then 1 faction token of his choice. He decides to pay 1 of the side, and then he starts pass through the cards until he reveals 2 cards of the exiles. The faction can be seen on the top right part of the card. So he continues to pass through the cards. Here is the first card reveal and the second one. One is a lantern and the other one is an accessory. Then he could pay one development point to take one for the party, or 2 development points to take both. He decides only to pay 1 development point and takes the portable synthesizer. Now the cards are shuffled back into the deck, all the cards, and another scout can take the action again, reveal different equipment. In particular, the Menad decides to pay 1 action and 1 engineer's faction token to reveal, in this case, 2 engineer's equipment cards. So she starts to pass by the cards, and here is the first one and the second one. This time the cards are an equipment and a weapon. It's the Eye of the Storm weapon. And this time too, the Menad or the party together have to choose if to keep one or both. They are checking the archetypes on the back of the card to decide for who will take and will use that card in particular. The accessory is a holographic decoy. This time the party decides to take them both, so to pay 2 development points to take both. They exhausted all the development points. Now it's time to train the scouts. We tweaked and changed a little this action, because in the previous version you have only to pay the action and reveal 2 cards and then choose one. We decided to change it by paying 1 faction token to reveal all the cards of light shield cards of that faction, and then you can choose one. So in this case you have more possibilities to choose the cards, because you are training your scouts, so you are choosing which kind of training the scouts will do. These are all advanced actions used then in the gameplay. Let's skip and go on. They did other actions like the ones we already saw. As you see, there is also the advanced training. The advanced training is only available from the 2nd level of the Citadel on, and allow the scouts to discard some of their light shields, so they can make their deck smaller to increase the possibility to draw the abilities they want. And now it's time to improve the printer decks, or the shops decks as we call it before. As you can see, the improvements for the Shadowlands is only available when the 3rd level of the Citadel is unlocked. So they remove the 3rd deck, the Shadowland improved items deck, and proceed with the Twilight Lands and the Forgotten Lands decks. The action is very simple, because the party has to pay 1 action token and then 1 exiled token to reveal 2 cards from one of the decks. They decide to reveal cards from the Twilight deck of the printer deck that is bounded to the Twilight Lands cards, as we saw during the gameplay, and then they can pay 0 development points to choose 1 card, so basically it's free, or 1 development point to take them both. The cards taken in this way can be added to the printer deck, or you can replace the corresponding item in the printer deck, because each item in the printer deck has 1 improved version. They don't have any more other development points, so they decide only to take one item, the Lux Vial in particular, and add it to the deck. So we completed all the development phase and all the 3 gameplay videos. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay. We did some other tweaks and improvements respect to the components you saw in these videos, and preserve the light and see you soon.